Alright, so here we are. There's no denying that the ark is open. Um, so deal it doesn't. That's all that we needed really to happen. No one needs to hold the rod of Aaron, sprinkle the sand around it in any specific way, or take the ark itself and march it around Israel to do this. What is done is done. And this is a perpetuation of time. And what people have done is they've created a timeline, and that will never be fulfilled. Here it is. You can add all kinds of stuff that never lines up, and it's constantly buying extra time for something to perpetuate in it. On a map that no one knows where Eden is, and everybody's been searching for it. And we were to be seeking the kingdom of God the whole time. Heaven, we've proven this, okay, and I think that we've witnessed enough things that, of course, we won't get into my birth date and my birth certificate or whatever. But we've proven that. Okay, so that's a fallback. So where you're supposed to be using our efforts. And that's even if you're good at roofing, fine, be roofing. If you're good at working on cars, then work on cars. If you're good at baking or sewing or things or taking care of children or being a doctor or whatever, then you're pursuing the kingdom of God. You're applying yourself towards it, and with these things that are good for the kingdom of God, perpetuating life. If you're a farmer, then you're farming. If you're good at negotiating things, then you're a negotiator, and that you're making good deals, and you're helping people see things through fairly. So this is perpetuating. And the Garden of Eden is not decided. It's global. It's not going to have a seat in a certain area. That would be kind of ironic. So to be seated in the Mediterranean, but not the ocean, because the ocean is border the entire world. So not just one. And we can't just all of a sudden grass is going to grow up greener in one certain deserted area versus repairing the forest that we have cut down in the Amazon on its own. Melting the ice, of course, in the northern regions of Canada, Russia, and in the steppes, and right in Mongolia. So those would be, you would think, that a priority of any righteousness. And then it would be the world. And eventually, of course, these deserts and the Gobi itself would flourish. So it wouldn't be just some certain area because of a certain written language. Because don't the Chinese also use characters in their language? The Japanese as well. Thailand. They use characters. So a simplistic way. And you can't just narrow it down because India itself has its own faith and it celebrates animals. So, right? Finds value in the life of animals. So who's to say that they aren't right? The Native Americans. So you would say that the Native Americans were wrong, though they believed in the spirit of life. See, so we judge them. Things got rowdy, we confess, but between men and discovering new lands and things of that sort, things can be misunderstood over a hand waving or chanting hello. Then all of a sudden it seems rowdy, they're shaking their spears and things, and then things escalate. Right? Their walls and things of that sort from the northern borders, establishing lands as far as Canada and things. And who would they side with? And everybody's making teams. Back then, there's no telephones and cars to communicate with. So it's word of mouth, village to village, making teams based on the provision of resources throughout the communities of the regions. The kingdom of God is supposed to be where you go, isn't it? So aren't we all to be possessing it? Here it is. There is no possessor of it now. The ark is open. That was the thing. Wasn't to rally it around and put it in a certain place, or else then I guess it would have been South Africa, right? In what a place they call Bela, right? Where the churches were in the ground and they were hiding. So wouldn't it have opened there? It would have paraded around Bela. No. So you see, everybody's waiting for it. The thing was to open it. Now it's open. So it's open season everywhere, and we are to be pursuing the kingdom of God, fully knowing that it's open and this potential is here. Now is the time to start being progressive versus warring and trying to gather armies and valleys and make prophecies come true of shedding blood again versus the lamb that was already slain. We have the green light to go on. Everybody's looking for the Antichrist. I think we've had it, my friend. So everybody's wondering, oh, this guy's going to rise to power. Okay, then name why we were waiting for armies to gather in Megiddo for the go light, right? To go on. This is the end of the world. Now it's going to get better. Wait a second. We had that in Desert Storm. We had that in 1914. They said that was the end of the world, and it was time now, and everything was going to be better. We've had that like 6 times. Everybody was thoroughly convinced that this is it. Prophecy dragons were coming out of the ocean and everything. I can explain why that happened too. As John Patmos was trying to get his messages out, he had to include cryptic words that they understood that scared them. Like monsters coming out of the sea and everything. The Greeks already believed in that, right? They had maps with little monsters and stuff like that coming out of the ocean, and they were scared to be pirates, or not pirates, but I mean scared to be mariners of sorts because of the monsters. So if you include these things in, the SS readers, I guess, for right, and Patmos would, oh my God, this pertains to us. He's writing about us, and in this time, get the message out. He'll write more.